Two, one. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Delusions of Grandeur. I'm your host, David Stregi, and here in the room with me, I have my friend Boris, all the way from Croatia. Hello. Once again,
Hello.
we are discussing films that are in the haunted house genre, except there are some fiends in here that are not quite ghosts.
Yeah, in this case, it's not ghosts.
I'm just gonna show everyone what the film looks like. I actually picked up a copy of this, and they were selling it on oldies.com for a while in 2009. God,
Oh,
it's been quite some years since then, though. Um,
oh.
this is what the film looks like. It was distributed by Taurus Entertainment Company. Um, but it was directed by, um, if I remember correctly, Eben McGarr. Um, and Before we get into first impressions here, I just wanted to uh, maybe tell a little bit about what this film is about, from what IMDb tells us.
Okay.
So, five strangers are invited to a castle under the pretense that one may inherit it. Little do they know what dangers await at the house of the Wolfman. So, um, in the very beginning, we meet two characters here. We meet Reed and Mary Chapel,
Yeah.
who are played by Dustin Fitzsimmons and Sarah Raftery, as they arrive to the house, or to it's not just a house; it's a fucking castle. uh,
Yeah, the place looked pretty cool.
so, what were your first impressions of this film? Uh, Enlighten me what your take on this film was. I know you had some trouble understanding it, correct?
Yeah, well, this time my internet connection wasn't very good, so it was the first time I saw the movie, and as we were watching it via StreamYard, as my connection wasn't very good, I had some sound glitches, and I was struggling to distinguish the dialogue lines, especially as there were no subtitles, so. There were actually many things that I didn't understand. Watching the movie for a second time would help, but I guess we will get to that another time. But yeah, after we after we watched it, I went to read some reviews in order to catch up on what I failed to understand. So I hope I more or less got it in the end, but yeah, there are still some parts that remain kind of blurry in my mind since I failed to understand it while watching. But uh, I- I'm sorry. But as far as I understood, it wasn't a bad movie. Well, maybe the introduction was a bit too long. It took a bit long for monsters to appear and for things to get really intense. But once it happened, it was pretty exciting.
Okay. Apparently the special effects were done by Monster FX, but the production company that this was done under was called My Way Pictures, but it was distributed by the Taurus Entertainment company from about 2009 to 2011, and that particular copy went out of print like that fast. And but I guess in 2019 it was signed with another company, and I'm not sure if it's been released under that distributor, but it's called it was distributed under Invincible. So I just wanted to say that real quick. But
Cool.
I had seen for a time I was collecting films that were on oldies.com, and oldies.com is like one of the oldest oldest mail order video companies that I know of, and they're still around.
Nice.
You can go to oldies.com and buy a lot of their alpha video products, but they also are very good at being able to distribute things to people if they so choose to help some of those independent people out. And I think that's kind of what happened. The director may have given like 50 or so copies to oldies to distribute, and they made some money off of it, and so did the director or whatnot, and that's just how it came to be. My initial reaction to this film was it was fairly slow. I loved the fact that Ron Chaney is involved with this. I think his grandfather or great grandfather is Lon Chaney Jr., and of course, everyone knows that the Lon Chaney Jr.'s father was the silent film actor Lon Chaney.
Yeah, I read something about it in the review that I checked out after watching the movie.
Okay, yeah, he is the grandson of Lon Chaney Jr., who played Lawrence Talbot, the Wolfman in the original 1941 Wolfman. And Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, House of Frankenstein, House of Dracula, and Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. But there were many more films that he was part of. So it's definitely entertaining to see that he has at least taken one role in film to pay homage to his namesake. So the another film later he showed up in, I guess, was Toolbox Murders 2 as Detective L. Wahaj or something like that in 2013. But other than that, he plays in here a Dr. Bela Reinhardt, who has evidently seen to it to invite 5 young people who seem to be related to him in some way, shape, or form. They just don't know it yet.
Yeah,
Or some of them don't know it, and some of them do. Some of them are very aloof about who they are, and these 5 individuals end up at this home at which Dr. Bela Reinhardt does seem to do his scientific work. But Reed Chapel and Mary Chapel are the first to arrive. And what do you think about that very beginning intro? Did you think that the rain looked real as they were approaching the castle?
Well, Actually, I wasn't thinking much about that, but if it didn't get my attention as unrealistic, I guess, yeah, it looked real enough.
Okay. Um, I thought I thought the rain looked pretty cool. I mean, this film was filmed in black and white, and like some of the like that's what why it kind of reminds me of the old Dark House, just a little bit, because each of these people arrive, and it seems like their arrival seems to mean something. Each time
Uh,
someone comes in, they get introduced,
well,
and
that was probably the idea, yeah.
and of course there's a creepy looking butler. What exactly? What was his name? Do you remember?
Barlow, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, he reminded me a bit of that guy in another black and white movie we watched. I can't remember the title, but I remember the character was named Morgan. What was the movie called?
Oh God, that was that. I think that was Old Dark House.
Oh, probably, yeah. I remember we watched a black and white movie and a remake, which was
That was Boris Karloff in the original, and then
yeah, that one.
he did kind of remind me of that, except he was a Mexicano person, with a bald head and scars on his face.
Yeah.
And he just did he seem creepy to you throughout the whole thing?
Well, a little bit maybe, but I guess I don't get creeped out too easily after all the horror movies I've seen.
Well, let's see. Barlow was played by John McGarr, and I guess he died not too long after this. I guess.
Oh.
Unfortunately, he died on March 26, 2010, in Indianapolis, Indiana. But
Oh.
I guess he was born John Patrick McGarr, and I guess several. I guess this is not the only person who died after this film or during this film or whatever. So, kind of sad. But in any case, I thought that Barlow pulled off a kind of a creep factor. I mean, I mean, he just stood there at the end of the hall, or stood there in the middle and didn't react, didn't respond, or nothing. It was like he obeyed orders.
Yeah, did he ever talk in the movie? I don't remember him having any dialogue lines, unless I just forgot.
Yeah, it's kind of sad that he is deceased, kind of. So,
Well, yeah,
but
I mean, the movie isn't even so old. It's from 2009. It's really sad.
but from what I from what I know, Barlow, um, he did kind of pull off kind of a creep factor. I mean, who the hell stands at the end of a hall and like doesn't move? I mean, that's one who seems to have been brainwashed to an extent where he just follows orders. He's
Hmm.
just a big muscle
Hmm.
character. I,
Well, yeah.
he doesn't end up fighting with anyone, so I guess that's one good thing.
Yeah, it would be difficult to win a fight against him, I assume.
One cool thing I thought is that some of the art in the characters' rooms, they had eye holes cut out so that someone could peep through.
Yeah, that was an interesting subplot, but from what I understood, eventually it wasn't even revealed who it was doing that, was it?
Well, I'm assuming that it may or may not have been um, one of the characters that it might have been Barlow. It might not have been. I don't think so. Um, it might have been the that old lady who was locked up, at least at first, because after a little while, the paintings were covered with um, like blankets or whatnot to cover the eye holes from peeping out or whatnot. So,
Yeah.
but the characters began to talk with each other. Um, well, let's look at the characters that showed up. We've got Reed Chapel and Mary Chapel. And Mary Chapel seems to be somewhat of a doctor herself.
Yeah.
We got Conrad Sullivan, who I believe is played by Jeremy Lanka, who has played in several movies afterwards in All American Zombie Drugs and Regenerator in 2010 as Stone and Derek. I guess he was on the Thousand Ways to Die documentary as putting a smiley face on death episode as Johnny. But he's the bookish kind of a character with glasses.
Yeah.
And what do you think about his character?
Well, I thought he was pretty good. He had some jokes from what I remember. Uh,
Yeah, he seemed to be like the comic relief character, the kind of nerdy, kind of guy who seemed to be more involved in the books that were in the library of Bela Reinhardt's study or whatnot, and he's one of the first to have noticed the people in the art and that they were being watched. And but there is also several other characters that we have not yet uh, aforementioned that arrived as well. We have Elmira Craig um, as Cheryl Rhodes. Um, I guess her real name is Rhodes Fire. I'm looking at her profile here, and evidently she has been in. She was in American Vampire before this as Elizabeth. She was in a movie called The Big Sleaze, The Scarlet Worm, My Trip to the Dark Side as Daisy White Lane, and in 2015 she was in Radio America. I guess she is the director of Going Home and 3 short films: The Just What Happened, Julia's Confession, and For Gina. And I guess her name that she seems to go under as director and actress is Cheryl Rhodes. So, but she was an interesting character. She didn't really give too much about her character at first. She was kind of like our mystery character, you know.
Yeah. Mm,
She was like, uh, "Cool it, Mister," at first. I'm not at an auction block. When you
yeah.
first meet her, and then when uh, Reed is talking to her, she doesn't give any information about herself. And he mentions that normally when two people have a conversation with each other, it kind of goes both ways, where I tell something about me and you tell something about you. So he,
Yeah, she
but
was more like interrogating.
yeah, she
Uh,
was. So she was a little bit more standoffish, probably more to figure out what happened, or why, or what was their connection to this whole thing, anyways. Because it's not until later that she realizes that her grandmother is that one-armed creature which I think the part with the tarantula was a
oh,
very cool part. Where it seemed like it was it was a trained spider. It made her follow to the stairs. It tapped underneath the door. It didn't. It came under a little bit, almost like to say hello,
well,
and
yeah.
follow me. And it went. It crawled out the door, crawled down the hallway, made her crawled up the stairs to have her follow. And you didn't see any uh, strings attached or nothing. It looked like a real spider. I do not think that it was a fake. So
Oh, indeed,
I mean,
unless.
I don't think, and I don't feel like it was an electronically controlled spider. You know what I mean?
Well, well, yeah, that's one thing that came to my mind. I mean, since the movie is from 2009, it's not really as old as it looks, so I thought it was possible for it to be an electronic spider or something, but yeah, who knows?
But let's go backwards a bit. There was one more character we did not discuss into this, at least as far as the siblings go. We have Jim Thalman, who plays Archibald Whitlock, and
Um,
he's kind of dressed up like a David Livingston type of a character, and I
yeah.
guess he's one of the characters in here that actually has quite a lot on his plate for acting, believe it or not. um, I guess let's see, since 2009, he's played in Dream State, Blood Money, a short film, Ajax, episode 50, Who is Tara Thomas, a short film, The Poker Lesson, a short film, Night Driver, a short film, Kevin Keating, Vampire Hunter, a short film, The Last Hit as Sal Constantino, Ploy, a short film as Alex Gutierrez, A Box Came to Brooklyn, a short film, Hunters, TV movie um, from 2015, directed by Kevin Baird. Let's see. What else? I mean, nothing that I've necessarily seen myself. So a lot of short films. Let's see, he's in two different short films called Infiltration. He's in a movie called In Sickness, when the moon was twice as big. Vera, a short film. Kin Kinsu Kinsukurai. Kuroy as Robert Infiltrated, a feature film as Sergio DiBiase, and Friends of Rome as Jude. But I guess he's been in a lot of horror film like films.
Yeah.
But to have kind of this much of a rap sheet in films is kind of cool. Where he seems to be kind of a character actor. But David Livingston was a real character who went on safaris and stuff back in like the 1930s or whatnot, and he was kind of an archaeologist slash hunter kind of a thing, and that's why I mentioned David Livingston, because this guy, this character that he's playing, Archibald Whitlock, is a hunter, and he has brought along his savage companions who are from Africa, I guess, and his hunting party, so to speak. And throughout this film, they discover tracks and what appears to be tracks of a large wolf. And he disbelieves that it could be a werewolf, doesn't he?
Well, yeah, that's a realistic reaction, I guess.
What did you think about his character, at least that which you saw?
Well, he was okay, and it was a bit sad that he was the first one to get killed, what I remember.
Well, so far as we know, because we saw him tussling with. What did we see him tussling with?
I think was he fighting the wolf man when Bella Reinhardt transformed into the wolf man? Was it him who?
That's right. Eventually, 2 dinners later.
Yeah.
Bella Reinhardt, as we have figured out, is from the line of Frankenstein, as we have heard from. There is a character that as Myra Cray finds out through Vidoma, this older lady who is missing an arm and an eye, and she's very gypsy-like to me, at least.
Yes, I think someone mentioned something like that in the review I read as well.
Very Romanesque. But we get the story that when Bela came over and he changed his name to Reinhardt to disguise his family name as Frankenstein, and so she Vidoma gives her granddaughter Elmira Cray a key that apparently opens the downstairs door that holds the Frankenstein monster.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to spoil the shit out of this movie. So
yeah, we should have said that sooner.
But if you know us by now, we definitely will spoil the film for you. But definitely do not take that as a sign to leave, for this film may not allow you to do that.
Yeah.
But if eventually we get a transformation scene. What do you think about that scene?
Well, actually, there wasn't much transformation actually happening on screen. Like, the camera was shifting to other characters while he was transforming. So, at one point, we saw his hand tapping on the table, and it looked human. And then in the next shot, it looked more animalistic.
And then it seemed like it gradually got more fur after each shot. But I thought it was done fluidly. Um, it, like it's not like they stopped the film and did it that way, where they stopped it, then filmed it again, then stopped it, then filmed it again. It was more like the camera was going to each character. It flipped back to him. He was a little bit more dressed.
Yeah.
And I like how he leaps across the table and up and leaps up the stairs. What about you?
Oh yeah, that's true. And I also read in the review that when he transformed, he was no longer played by the same actor, supposedly.
Yeah, the monster himself was played by Craig Dabbs. I
Oh
guess.
yeah.
I guess
Wait,
where
was that the Wolfman or the Frankenstein monster?
that was the monster, the Frankenstein monster, I guess.
Oh,
Let me see who might have played the werewolf. Okay, so the Wolfman was played by Bill Bussey, and he is an actor who is known as a stunt man or a stunt coordinator for many different films. It looks like he did stuff for Dead and Deader, Forced Alliance, Rabia, An American Tragedy, a short film. So some of these were short films. Blizzany Boy, The Ultimate Fighter, The Twilight Shadow, Ninja Cheerleaders, Interpretation, Lost Warrior, Left Behind, Prison Break, the TV series,
cool.
The Action Hero's Guide to Saving Lives, Mass Effect 2, the video game. He was stunts for some of the motion captures in there. Dante's Inferno video game.
Oh wow.
The Dead Undead. Uh, One Long Day. Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 2 video game. Deadliest Warrior, one episode. Haywire. He was a stunt double for Ewan McGregor. Stunt performer. He was a stunt double for Joshua Gomez in the series Chuck.
Cool, cool.
The Power of a Few, Pair of Kings, 2 episodes. Channeling, Game Over, 1 episode. Pacific Rim Training Day, short film. Extraction, Blood of Redemption, Wonder Woman, short film. The Devil's Spear, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, short. Where the Devil Lies, a short film. Dead Snow 2, Red versus Dead, he was a stunt. Bermuda Tentacles, TV movie.
Cool.
He was the stunt coordinator for that. Ninja Apocalypse, Icarus Down, Alpha, short film. Star Wars DIY cosplay. He was a stunt performer for 1 episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He was a
Oh,
stunt
cool.
coordinator for Into the Badlands. Supergirl, he was a stunt double for Henry Czerny for 1 episode. Decommissioned,
Wow.
Pandemic, The Faith of Anna Waters, Aztec Warrior, Iron Fist, 2 episodes. Bahubali 2, The Conclusion. The originals, he was on a stunt performer for one episode. Astro, he was the stunt performer for. Oh, okay. I have I have seen Astro. Um, and I've talked to the main actress in that.
Whoa.
Um, okay, so let's see. Escape Plan 2, Hades. He was a stunt rigger and utility stunts for that one. Hell to Pay, Summer Night, Doom Patrol 1 episode, American Soul 1 episode, Black Lightning 4 episodes. He was a stunt performer for that. Watchmen, the TV series, 2 episodes of that. He was a stunt man for Jumanji: The Next Level. Gentlemen in Violence 3, Heart of Vengeance, Street Survivors, The True Story of Leonard Skinner plane crash, the stunt coordinator, Boss Level, stunt performer, Breach for stunts, Wally's Wonderland. He's a stunt performer on, and The Flight Goes On, a short film. The last 4 are newer ones. So, and I guess as an actor, this was his second acting thing, and he played the Wolfman. So, but he was an actor in 1 episode of Into the Badlands for a little bit. The Adventures of Avery and Pete. Nuts, a short film. He was an actor as a gunman in Black Lightning 1 episode. And I guess he was a soldier in Astro. So,
that's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. Blood of Redemption, he was a knife killer. Number 2. But other than that, I think that's all I'm going to talk about with him. But we also have another character here that apparently played a Dracula.
Oh, yeah.
Dracula was played by Michael R. Thomas, and he died at the age of 59, August 24th, 2009.
Yeah, that was even mentioned at the end of the movie.
He was a makeup. He was a makeup artist. In 1969, for The Wonderful Land of Oz, he was a character makeup artist and a makeup artist, and his name was Mike Thomas at the time. For Serpico, 1973, he was the makeup artist for that. He was a makeup artist for a 1977 film called The Sentinel. Another movie called The World of Darkness. He was the makeup artist behind The Wiz, which is the the black version of the African American version of The Wizard of Oz. 3-2-1 Contact, a TV series. Fort Apache, the Bronx. He was the key makeup artist in there. Wolfen. That was an African American werewolf movie. Kind of a urban wolf man movie. Neighbors. He was a makeup artist behind that. He was the makeup artist in New York for Ghostbusters, the first Ghostbusters. Fear City, My Demon Lover, Fatal Attraction. He was also for Ghostbusters 2 in 1989. Loose Cannons. He was the makeup artist behind. He was the makeup artist behind Wayne's World 2. He was a makeup artist for 8 episodes of Saturday Night Live. All My Children, 1 episode. Soul Man, 1 episode. Beloved, he was a makeup artist for that. Spin City, he was 1 episode. The Zachary Archives, a video documentary. One Special Night, a TV movie. The Fanatical Teachings of Julian Tao. Zoolander. Playmate of the Apes.
Well, some of these titles definitely sound interesting.
People I Know. The Lord of the G-Strings, the female ship of the string. Ultra Christ, which I do have. That's a Christploitation movie. Dr. Horror's Erotic House of Idiots. 1 episode of The Sopranos. The 70s Girl. The Stepford Wives. Bite Me. Oh, that's a movie, I think, with Brett Piper. Let's see. What else? Aha. Nowhere Man. An Erotic Werewolf in London. George and Martha Washington, a 40-year romance. The Life Before Her Eyes. American Gangster. Enchanted. And I Am Legend.
Ooh.
As an actor, the last film he played in was this movie.
That makes sense.
But he played in 1969 as The Wonderful Land of Oz as the Scarecrow. Fanny Hill Meets Dr. Erotico as the monster. Scary Sexy Disaster Movie from 1999 as Igor and Captain Skimmer. Erotic Witch Project 2, Book of Seduction. Mistress Frankenstein. Witch Babe, the Erotic Witch Project 3. Which I think those some of those were Jim Wynorski pictures. Purgatory Blues, The Erotic Mirror, The Lord of the G-Strings, the female ship of the string. He played Smirnoff. Ultra Christ, he played Vlad the Impaler.
Ooh.
Vampire Vixens, he played the boss. Spider Babe, he played Dr. Dowell. In Rectuma, he played Wanger. Dr. Horror's Erotic House of Idiots, he played Frank Mannering. Bite Me, he played Ralph Vivino. The Ghosts of Angela Webb, he played Alexander Stewart. In Shakorama, which is another, I believe, Brett Piper film, he played Frank the Brain. Zombie This. Lonely Are the Brain. Skin Crawl, he played Nalder. And Sculpture, he played Father Frank. So, I guess that's the guy who played Dracula. But here's what we didn't get to. We didn't get to some of those final fight scenes. So what happens is after learning that their father is in fact Bella Reinhardt, also known as Bela Frankenstein, he turns into a werewolf, and he attacks or tries to attack, but Archibald Whitlock, one of the siblings, he ends up in a tussle with the monster, as the others end up going downstairs to get the monster Frankenstein out from where he is. And lo and behold, who shows up? Dracula.
Yeah.
To not only help them out with his vampire brides, but evidently it kind of ties the whole film into possibly having a sequel in the future, because we have a final battle scene, sort of, where Frankenstein and the Wolfman are fighting each other, aren't they?
Yeah, at the beginning well, I mean, while we were watching the movie, when Dracula appeared, at first I got confused, like I thought there had possibly been some word about him and I just missed it because of my bad internet connection or something, but then when I was reading the review, I realized the reviewer was just as confused as I was. So, yeah, that was a bit all of a sudden. But I still actually liked the Dracula. He looked pretty cool, and those masks of his brides were also
It
pretty
it
well
did
done.
feel like it was just kind of slapped in there, like, oh, I'm Dracula. Uh, uh, I'll only be able to help you if you invite me in. You know. So
Yeah, but he was still pretty cool.
yeah, he was, and when they asked for his help, and he was like, "Oh, but all you need to do is invite me in." Then then these three vampire-looking, and the reason why I said this earlier to you is that these vampire brides have these teeth that are like tooth teeth, and they're very close together. Well, that's the way that the original Nosferatu from 1922 was filmed with F.W. Murnau. So to me, bringing that originality of these vampires, where having Dracula have the teeth spaced out like a modern vampire, whereas they were originally when we first saw the first vampire on screen, it was in fact those two teeth close together, like that on their face. So, what did you think about the Vampire Brides?
Well, they were pretty scary and pretty well done, actually. Their masks were very cool, and I liked the Frankenstein monster's mask as well. Uh,
Here too. I mean, and then of course at the end, the Dracula was like, "Okay, boys, quit fighting. We have much to do."
yeah,
Like he had come there to just basically pretty much use their help to do something else in the future.
yeah. I mean, wasn't the fight left kind of unfinished from what I remember? I
I,
mean, the
I
Wolfman and the
feel like
Frankenstein.
the movie was kind of unfinished in a way myself, because that seemed like a pretty cool ass fight, and then all of a sudden, okay, boys, let's stop it now.
Uh,
You know,
Yeah, I think we didn't even see how the fight between the Wolfman and the Frankenstein monster ended, or did we see it?
no. In fact, I think it was just Dracula's order to have them stop, and then that's
Uh,
when it was the end. So that's why
yeah,
to me it was kind of a setup for a possible movie in the future, or because the actor for Dracula had actually died. They were unable to finish the film, and they just left it kind of open ended like that.
oh, well, that would be a plausible explanation. Yeah.
Because I think I remembered reading something somewhere about that, or something to that effect. So, But what did you think about the movie as a whole? I mean, now that you somewhat understand it, now that we've somewhat gone through it, and whatnot. I mean, the monster. Um, he was played by Craig Dabbs. I just wanted to go through some of his stuff because he was another stunt man who's been in quite a few things too. He was in 11th Hour as in one episode, Life in 2 episodes, Desperate Housewives in 1 episode, Without a Trace in 1 episode before House of the Wolf Man. Then he was in 1 episode of The Mentalist, 1 episode of Numbers. He was in Dragon Age Origins as a stunt motion capture thing for the video game. Mass Effect 2. The video game, Stasis. A short film, The Defenders, 1 episode. Edger Floats, a TV movie as a stunt driver. The Green Hornet. He was a stunt man for The Wizards of Waverly Place. 2 episodes, maybe 3. He was an assistant stunt rigger for 1 episode, I guess. But he also did 1 episode of Chuck, which, to be honest, that the other stuntman has Chuck, and what is it? Mass Effect 2, as connections to that other stuntman. He was a utility stunt man for the Frost Giant for Thor, the movie Thor.
Yeah, I know.
And then 2 episodes of House, I guess. Pair of Kings, which I think is another connection to the other stuntman. He was in 8 episodes of that for stunt performer. For the Love of Money, a stunt driver, Ferrari. Justified in 2 episodes. Blood of Redemption, stunts in 2013, and Scandal. He was in 1 episode of in 2014. So. But yeah, that was the guy who played the monster.
Well, that's pretty cool.
It's interesting to figure out what different things were for. One of the footmen was Freddie James, and he was okay. I guess he's okay. So Freddie John James, he played in The Book of Eve, TKO, Conspiracy, before House of the Wolf Man. He played in 1 episode of The Young and the Restless, Hero Man, Legend of Common, Shady Lane, Knocked Down, a short film, Fitz and Slade, a TV movie, Days of Our Lives. He played a bystander in 3 episodes. In 2013, Cell Block Tango Waitress, short film, Trek Wars, the movie, as Maru Kenodu. 2014 ESPY Awards, Drake versus Blake, a TV special, Just a Guy 2. Jew in Choctaw Country, Part 3, a short film. Sex Sent Me to the ER, a TV series documentary in 1 episode called Busted as David. Santa Pimps and H.O.'s. Santa Pimps and Hoes, a TV movie. He played a pimp in 2004. Episodes, a TV series, Fox and Bing. The TV series, My Crazy Ex in 1 episode. LB Rain, Terminate Our Love video short. Jimmy Kimmel Live, he was on 2 episodes. Bikini Foo, a TV series. Master, Nessie and Me. That's a Jim Wynorski connection. That was a 2016 film. He played Bobo's dad. A Doggone Christmas, and a Doggone Hollywood, which I do believe are children's movies that were put out by Jim Wynorski. I think Bikini Car Wash Massacre, Secret Santa. He was Gordon. That was a independent horror movie just recently, not too recent, 2018. I know I have it. I didn't watch it or nothing, but I guess he's playing in Robo Woman, which is, that's what I thought. Dustin Ferguson directed this movie, and I know it's out now. But Robo Woman is another movie that I plan on checking out. Looks kind of sexy.
We could.
Let's see. Looking for where he actually looking for where he actually did. Let's see. Looking for where this other movie actually. Okay, he was actually a composer for that Santa Pimps and Hoes, but he was a stuntman for Mega Shark versus Colossus, which was on Sci-Fi Channel, I guess.
Whoa.
Film in 2015. So other than that, yeah, I think that was the footman, one of the footmen that was under Archibald Whittaker. Here's employ.
Well, it's interesting how many people who worked on this movie were in some much more famous projects. That's pretty interesting.
Well, some of them are famous, some of them are not. I mean, it just depends on what's on their stuff. I mean, you never know who's in what and who's from whom, and you're like, oh, I saw that actor or actress in that movie. What was it?
Yeah.
So, in any case, okay. Favorite scenes. If there was a favorite scene that you could take from this particular film, what would it be?
Hmm. Well, let's see. Uh, Well, I guess it would be the fight. It was the most intense scene, and it was kind of what we were waiting for. I mean, as it's supposed to be a monster movie. Like I said, it took a bit long for the monsters to appear, but once they did, it was pretty intense, pretty good.
Yeah, it was. Um, I would have to say my favorite scene is the spider scene.
Oh, well, I do see why. It really was pretty well done.
Uh, and I also liked the scene where Frankenstein seemed to throw the Wolfman up onto that table. I mean,
Oh,
it
oh
kind of
yeah.
looked like he kind of floated through the air, and you didn't see where the harness was or anything. So the effects on these were definitely pretty cool, especially towards the end here.
Well,
And,
indeed, good
and
point.
though the transformation was kind of a cop out, just a little bit, because um, if it were really going for that universal thing, you'd have the camera on him the entire time while he was transforming. You know,
Yeah.
so but
Yeah, that was pretty well done.
as far as the music goes, what did you think about the music?
Well, it was okay from what I remember, but I think it didn't draw my attention too much during the first watch.
Well, it looks like the music was done by Nate Scott, and I'm checking to see what he has done. So he's actually okay. So he's I guess he's the sound ed. Let's see, the composer. He's a composer for 3 short films and 3 features. Um, he did this one, House of the Wolfman, Role Model, which is a short film, a 12-step program, which is a short film, The Grand Theft, which is from 2011, The Scrapper, from 2012, and Narci Masicho, which is a short film. But he's worked in the sound department for Battle for Sky Arc in 2017, Life Interrupted, a TV movie. Red Bull presents Robert Rodriguez, a documentary short. Midnight in Juarez, Road Trip, 1 episode of that. Skate or Die, One Direction, I Love One Direction documentary. Fake Fingernails, Cash and Viagra. Road to Brooklyn, Phantom Boulevard, a short film. Walter, a short film, and Still Cries the Soul as a sound editor. But he also worked on Breaking Big, a TV series documentary, with the audio as it was in post production in 2018, and a TV series. He spent a large amount of time on 49 episodes of Where the Bears
Oh, well, that's pretty cool.
Are actually he did 8. He was a recording mixer for 8 of these episodes, and for 41 episodes, he was a sound designer. So I don't know what that where the Bears are is, but I think it's okay. It says it's a comedy mystery series. A comedy mystery web series that follows the exploits of 3 gay bear roommates living together in Los Angeles as they attempt to solve the murder of a party guest that turned up dead in their bathtub.
Oh.
Alrighty. Well, in any case, I think that's everything, unless you have something else that you want to discuss. Was there anything from your viewpoint of gaining or learning stuff from reviews that you've seen that maybe someone else might have seen? Or
Well, I would say, well, yeah, definitely watching this movie for a second time would help, which I'm probably going to do. But as far as I have figured out by now, the movie seems to have its stronger points and its weaker points. Some things some subplots they introduced kind of had potential, and I feel they could have done a bit more with it. Like, for example, when the whole idea was introduced that all the characters are half siblings, that seemed like it was going to develop into something much bigger, like some pretty intriguing plot twists could result from it, but then there wasn't really much about it in the end, aside of Bella Reinhardt doing their mothers what we eventually heard. But yeah, for example, I found that an intriguing subplot which could have developed into something much bigger, but all in all, it was a pretty good movie, and I think I'm going to give it a second watch as this time my bad internet connection got in the way.
Well, one thing that I wanted to say about one of the characters is I was getting a Betty Page kind of a vibe from Elmira Cray's character.
Oh,
Because there was a moment where we get her in some very sexy negligee,
oh, oh,
um,
that's true.
where I think the reason why she was in her underwear like that was because she knew people were peeping through those art art pictures, those art
Good
paintings.
point. Yeah.
So yeah, in fact, she kind of smiled to herself as she was posing like a pinup doll. So, in any case, other than that, I guess that was another favorite scene of mine. So, in any
I,
case,
I do see why.
but in any case, thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen, to our ramblings on this film. Um,
Yeah,
it was
thank you. And
definitely an enjoyable film for me to see again. I guess I have some nostalgia for it because it's got the grandson of Lon Chaney Jr. in it, and that's one thing that I thought was pretty cool. So
yeah, well, I'm sorry I wasn't able to participate as actively as I usually do, as things happened the way they did with my internet and so on. But yeah, thank you for having me.
not a problem. I mean, I think you still had a little bit of an insight. I mean, to I think you also had some hard time understanding some of the plot lines of the film, and uh, I think you're right in saying that a second watch would probably be a good option for you, so that
Well,
you can maybe understand it a bit more. And yes, I do believe that this was an unfinished film. To have so abrupt some segments, like all of a sudden Dracula's there. It's like, huh? Where the fuck did he come from?
yeah,
It's like, why is what is his thing with this? And then he tells them to shut the fuck up. Okay, um, but
yeah,
I hope that the director returns to this film and builds something on that storyline. Even though I know it would almost be kind of cruel not to use the original actors, but some of them are dead. So he'd have to pull around for some different actors to play some of the roles, but at least don't leave us hanging there.
well, I agree. It would be good to see if they made a sequel.
Yep, and ladies and gentlemen, next week we have in store for you. We're gonna go off the subject of our discussion for a moment to check out this a lovely little short film called Vulp's Prologue, and it's directed by Benjamin Helmetzi. He's a director from um, Hungary, and
Ooh.
I am one of the producers behind the short film. So I figured I'd share it with my friend Boris here, and um, since it'll be our first short film discussing it together. Although I have actually reviewed it myself some time ago, like a year ago almost, I think. So if you can, try to see if you can find that review and let me know what you think down in the comments. What whether you thought I was right or not. So, in any case, thank you for listening. Have a great day, evening, or morning, wherever you are. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you for listening.
And like, share, and subscribe. Just go out and enjoy the film if you can. So enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. And
Wow.